Emefiele unveils new national card scheme, Afrigo, says initiative to boost financial inclusion, enhance data sovereignty, offer lower charges, others. Explains effort not to restrain international service providers. The governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, yesterday declared that going forward, dollars charges on all domestic cards and online transactions will not be permitted. Emefiele said all transactions on existing local bank cards must therefore be routed through the Nigerian National Domestic Card Scheme, which he officially unveiled yesterday. Speaking at the virtual launch of the card scheme, the CBN governor pointed out that at a time when foreign exchange challenges had persisted globally, the central bank came up with the domestic card scheme to ensure that all card transactions, online transactions, when you are using cards, will now be effective immediately. Begin to go on the Nigerian National Domestic Card System. Emefiele, however, clarified that though there was nothing wrong with the existing local bank cards, customers are at liberty to continue using them. He said, but given that charges by foreign cards are in dollars, we will no longer pay dollar for charges on those cards. He said, all domestic cards transactions that are going to be conducted in Nigeria will have to be through the Nigerian domestic card. We would only pay dollars for charges on transactions that are done with the domestic card on foreign cards outside Nigeria. He, however, clarified that the CBN's effort was not to prevent international service providers from continuing to provide services in Nigeria. He said, rather, it is aimed at providing more options for domestic consumers, while also promoting the delivery of services in a more innovative, cost-effective, and competitive manner. Emefiele also disclosed that the CBN would collaborate with the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System (NIBSS), Nigerian banks, and other electronic payment operators to see how to segregate those transactions to ensure that we would only make charges or fee for international transactions that are conducted on those cards or the Visa or MasterCard as they are used today. The CBN governor insisted that while there was no preference for any particular domestic card, we don't need to have our domestic cards, but most importantly is that we do not have foreign exchange, and we would bar payment of charges for domestic transactions from the Nigerian foreign exchange market at some point in the very near future, he said, given the limited usage. He said the scheme presented an important plug in the gap that has remained with the system since the cashless policy was introduced. Yet, the CBN governor said the unveiling signaled another major step in the country's drive toward achieving a thriving and competitive payments landscape in the country. Emefiele said the cashless policy has created value, engendered competition, and attracted investment into the Nigerian banking and payments ecosystem, adding that we have witnessed the proliferation of products, channels, and participants with significantly increased foreign direct investments into the Nigerian payment space. He said the CBN had over time focused attention on the robust development of financial service touchpoints, including the ATMs, POS terminal, and agent networks, explaining that the success of the shared agent network expansion facility has led to growth in the number of agents to about 15 million across the federation, with the capacity to accept card payments from Nigerians. Emefiele said, while the penetration of card payments in Nigeria has grown tremendously over the years, many Nigerians are still excluded. He said that the challenges that have limited the inclusion of Nigerians included the high cost of card services as a result of foreign exchange requirements of international card schemes, and the fact that existing card products do not address local peculiarities of the Nigerian market. According to him, the cashless policy, which commenced in 2012, signposts the CBN's common drive to strengthen the national payment system and deepen the usage of electronic platforms in the country. He said, in line with the National Payment System Scheme, the CBN had been deliberate, collaborating with relevant stakeholders to enhance the national payment system, such as the bank verification number BVN, real time gross settlement system RTGS, shared agent network facility SANEF, regulatory sandbox, open banking, and the e-naira. Emefiele said it is important to note that the establishment of national domestic card scheme is in line with the global trends. Nigeria, by this initiative, will therefore be joining countries like China, Russia, Turkey, and India, which have launched domestic card schemes and harnessed the transformative benefits for their respective payments and financial systems, particularly for the underbanked. The CBN is committed to a robust, efficient, and safe national payment system and welcomes innovation from both domestic firms and foreign investors. The Nigerian market is vast, and the current participants have done so much in the last 12 years to transform the ecosystem. He said, yet there is much ground to be covered as millions of Nigerians are yet without payment card to consummate transactions. I am convinced that the National Domestic Card Scheme will make this a reality in the coming months. We can no longer neglect a vast majority of Nigerians who daily payment needs are micropayments. We need to capture them in national statistics to further understand their transaction dynamics and properly target interventions in that sector of the economy. The CBN governor said the card scheme presented opportunities for the economy to integrate the informal segments of the economy, reduce shadow banking, and bring more Nigerians into the formal financial service, with attendant diversification of deposit portfolio, which will further strengthen the stability of the banking industry. So that is a CBN policy and the direction at which the CBN is going right now. I think we are in the right direction. This policy will favor both the poor, the average, and the rich. So, personally, I like the policies of this current CBN governor. What he's doing to curtail corruption and what he's doing to bring a common ground between the rich and the poor, especially this hoarding of millions of naira. Because in Nigerian election, it is we know very very well that Politicians buy votes with billions, hundreds of billions of naira. And with this new policy, I think it's almost impossible. But let's watch how things unfolds. I like this man. This is Breaking News Network. Please do subscribe to this channel and share this news to those who really need to know what is going on in the country. Thank you very much.